Guys, welcome back to the Horse Girls podcast. Today we're sitting with Jennifer Gates Nassar.
Yes, we're so lucky to have her. She has been amazing with us.
So amazing.
You guys are too sweet, and I'm really excited to be here and chat about balance with you today.
Yes.
And just honored to chat to two young equestrian entrepreneurs who are on this exciting adventure.
Thank you so much. It has been so exciting to have you.
So I know that you're a mother, business entrepreneur, you're an equestrian, and you're a medical student. My goodness, it's like so much on your plate. Like, how do you balance that all? How do you go about it?
Thank you so much. I mean, it really is. That sounds like a lot of roles, but in reality, something I've learned is you can't do it all at once. So it's all about prioritizing what is most important to you at a given time, and making sure that you are just focused straight in on that one thing. What I love about the horses and equestrian sport is that it's something you can take a step back from and come back to at many different times in your life.
Right.
It's not a sport that you have to focus in on when you're 20 and then be done with. So I'm really grateful that I've been able to have horses in my life, pre having my baby and pre-med school, and now getting back into it a little bit more.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That is so special. We're definitely very lucky to have this sport and be able to compete at, even later ages when we're young. It's amazing. We're really lucky.
Yeah, this sport is incredible. And I know so many other equestrians, they also have to balance so much on their plate as well. So it's really amazing to see another equestrian doing it. And not only doing it at a top level, And I know also that you got a new horse as well. So that's so exciting to know about.
Yes. How did you pick him out?
Yeah, so I found him through my trainer, Harry Smolders, who helped me when I was riding full time. And now, I've taken a step back. So he still helps us with our operation in Europe. He found him in England with another young rider, Camilla Bingham. She had brought him up as a 7-year-old, now to an 11-year-old. And so really a wonderful partnership. And I'm just lucky to have taken over the reins on him. His name's Paris.
Oh, I love that.
It's
really special.
Yes.
We love
Great
that.
balance, great energy. So I really like
And is he more on the stronger side, or what's his temperament?
He's pretty easygoing. He has a great balance. So he's
Okay.
always very uphill.
Oh, that's great.
He's sharp and careful, but not too sharp or too
Okay.
careful, which
That's
is
good.
super important, especially as a
Getting
new
back into
mom
it.
coming
Yeah.
back into the
You
sport.
don't want
I
something
them
that's
safe.
so careful that exactly. You want something that's like, okay, we're gonna go.
Yes, we're gonna go no matter what.
Exactly.
I've got your back. So
That's great.
It's
That's
really
so
fun.
perfect.
That's amazing. And speaking of, motherhood, but also relationships. So I really wanted to know, how did you meet Niall? Because
Exactly.
I know so many questions are trying to find their perfect match, and to find not only an amazing, husband, but also an equestrian.
It's very rare.
Very
rare. The girls want to know, how do we do
I
that?
wouldn't say I got really lucky. I mean, it is not easy to find your match in this sport. The good ones are few and far between, unfortunately. But I feel so lucky that Niall and I met. We met and we're friends for quite some time, but originally we met at Thunderbird Horse Show. We were both showing in a meter 30. And
About what year, how old were you guys?
I was 18. I was
Okay.
it was right before I started Stanford, and he had just graduated.
Oh, that's great.
And
Okay.
I beat him. That's probably the only time I've ever been faster than him. And he trotted past me in the warm up, and was like, "Oh, I guess you're just too fast for me."
Wow. You're like, wow.
And so I definitely was a little smitten, but we were friends for quite some time. He, was a big role model and super supportive as I made my transition to Stanford. And then a few years later, we were both single and at the same back at Thunderbird, actually. And I asked him to go get Froyo as our first.
Wow.
Yes.
That's so cool.
good.
And so not only were you guys both equestrians, but going to the same school and everything is so special.
It was
I feel
really
like that's
special.
so unique.
Yeah.
That is so unique.
Totally. And to understand that balance, too, of wanting to be at the top level of the sport, but also take your studies really seriously. So looked up to him a lot, and that's incredible.
You know what's so cool is that I actually ran into your dog, which was so
Oh my
cool.
God.
Earl, he's iconic. We love Earl.
Oh my God.
And we were staying at an Airbnb. This was right before he won the $1 Million Grand Prix. I think this was 6 years, maybe 5 years ago?
Yeah.
It's been a while, yes.
Yeah.
Been a while. So me and my mom were just walking out. I was coming home from the horse show, my horse clothes, and I saw little Earl trotting up to us.
Oh my God.
And I was like, oh my gosh, who's this dog? And I saw he was taking him on a walk or something. It was late, and he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. We're like, oh no, don't worry, he's welcome. We love him. So, and he was so nice, and I've always really looked up to Niall. I saw him, literally packing his car, trying to get to the walk 30 minutes before he was gonna walk. And I remember looking on live stream, I'm like, oh my gosh, and he won, and I was so happy. So, you know, it's so cool that you guys found each other, and that's really special.
Well, I'm so glad he was friendly to
Yes,
them.
no, he's great.
a very warm, open person, and just so relaxed.
That
Like,
is
he could
so
be
cool.
packing his car like 30 minutes before he jumps a big Grand Prix.
That's amazing. I feel like us girls need a guy like that, because we're very like
high
yeah,
energy.
we're such high energy. We need somebody that to balance us. Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
That's so great for you guys.
Yin and yang is important.
That's
so
amazing.
We're so lucky. And Earl is iconic.
Yeah, Earl
Oh,
is great.
so, like such an icon.
Oh, and you got a new puppy too.
We did. We got a
What is
puppy,
it?
Chai. So we
Chai.
got Chai and Earl. They're both T's, and they're adorable.
I love that.
I love that so much.
Our daughter loves them too.
Stepping into the next question, I wanted to ask you, like, what warning label would you give your life if somebody that doesn't know you, like, what would you tell them?
Oh my gosh. Do less. I don't know. Like, stop, slow down, enjoy the moments, because they're fleeting. I think so often, talking about balance, we're looking towards the next goal and the exact thing we want to accomplish, and really just taking a step back and realizing
It's so important.
how fortunate we are to be in whatever moment it is. And so even tonight, like, getting to watch this Grand Prix and
It's
knowing
so
that
special.
I'm jumping my first 2-star in a while tomorrow.
That's so exciting.
And just feeling grateful for being here and not thinking about what's going to happen in 6 months or 8 months, because things change.
No, everything's changed. That's so true.
the
We
beauty
really
of
have to
it.
live in the moment, because things change so fast. Thing too, I was almost like, oh, is she going to bring her daughter? But she's home.
She's asleep.
Yeah,
Yes.
she's sleeping.
We're
It's
lucky.
late.
Yeah, it's late.
Wonderful caretaker who's with her. Which
That's
also
great. That's so
contributes
great.
to our balance, because it means that I can be here and support my husband.
That's
and
so
I know that she's in
perfect.
good hands.
That's great.
That's wonderful. Yeah, it's really good to have to find like a solid support system and find like your
Yeah, the
people
team is
around
everything.
them. Team is
Everything.
everything.
In equestrian
100%.
sport and life.
Exactly.
Yeah. But I really have to ask you too, onto the Spikes Your questions. What was your craziest international party experience?
I know, because you've traveled so much with riding, so there has to be something that, like, you've had an experience abroad that was so much fun.
Yeah.
So what's funny is I didn't party very much in college. I think as an equestrian, you're often busy going to shows on the weekends.
Yeah, it's just very grounded.
Very focused and very grounded. But I took a year off between my last year at Stanford and my first year at medical school at Mount Sinai. And that year I went to train in Europe with Harry Smolders, which was just such an incredible opportunity. Took my riding to the next level.
Wow.
But we had a lot of fun. I mean, I kind of enjoyed the European party
lifestyle.
experience.
Yeah.
Have a glass of champagne at the end of the day.
Wow.
And that was wonderful. So we had a couple wild nights. Me and my best friend Taylor.
Was she visiting from here?
She was also competing in Europe at the time.
That's great.
Which is really special.
That's amazing.
So I remember we went to, I think it was at the GCT of London, and we went to a loud club for a night and just saw a bunch of other riders there.
That's so
very
fun.
surreal.
That's so fun. That is so cool. I feel like that'd be so much fun to go see other outside of the realm.
Yeah, the realm.
It was really special and a really fun time. So, and someone told me, you might ride better if you have a bad feeling in your stomach, which I never loved, because this is a sport.
It's like, exactly, you want to be on your A game, but
I had a couple rounds where I was definitely feeling it from the night before.
It keeps us as girls, I feel like we overthink so much. We're high strung, all that. So we want to make sure, sometimes if, I get a few hours less of sleep, I don't think, and I'm able to, jump
honestly,
and
sometimes
be on stride.
we focus more, the lack of whatever. It's sometimes you're just able to dial in a little bit more, but ultimately, get your sleep, guys. Get your rest, because that's so
exactly.
important as well.
It is important, but sometimes you got to keep it interesting.
Yeah, well, that too is really that sometimes it's not about the thinking with riding; it's about the feeling.
Exactly.
So the less you can be in your head, and the more you're in your body.
Exactly.
And I think that's the most wonderful thing about this sport is you have to be present and you have to feel what's going on with your horse.
Exactly.
So it's really great.